Tennessee State University Extension Program. Today we're gonna make a hearty egg burrito. So let's get started, but first you wanna make sure that you wash your hands. How many seconds? If you said 20, that is correct. So we're gonna go ahead and wash our hands. You also wanna make sure you wet them. Most times we wanna do that. That helps give you a good lather up. Remember you can count. You can sing the happy birthday song in between your fingers and your fingernails and an inch above your wrist. I have my paper towel. Then I want to use that paper towel to cut off the faucet. Alright, so all you need today for the burrito, we have some whole wheat wraps. And you want to make sure they're truly whole wheat. Remember we talked about grains, and you want to look at that first ingredient on there to make sure it's truly a whole wheat product. We're going to use 4 eggs. We have black beans. We're going to use some cumin. And it's a different type of seasoning, but it does taste good. Some black pepper. We're going to have some non-stick spray. And of course, everybody loves cheese. And then we have some garlic to add too. So the first thing, we're gonna go ahead and make our egg mix first before we put everything in the skillet. So I have my 3 eggs in here. I'm gonna get one more and crack it. And remember, when we handle the egg mix, once we finish, you wanna make sure you rewash your hands again. So once I finish stirring this up, then I'm gonna rewash my hands. You can take a fork if you don't have a whisk to stir up your eggs. And what we added to this, we added 1/4 of cumin in there, and then we added a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and it's 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. So you want to be trying to put the cook size in there. So well, I think it was the first week, remember, showed you how to handle a knife. So we have a bell pepper here. I'm already gonna cut the top off. And then what you wanna do is kind of get the core part of it, the seed. You cut around the bell pepper, and then that's kind of help get everything out for you won't have all these seeds coming out when you're trying to cut. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a slice. We're gonna cut them into strips and like a boat. And then you have your bear claws. Then we're gonna dice them up. And it just depends on how you want them diced. You may want them diced small, but I think this is perfect size. So then we have our onions. We wash them off. They're very easy to cut up. It's not gonna take too much. And we just gonna actually just go down the line, and that's it. I have my bear claw, have the pressure, and I'm just going. Now you don't wanna go too far down, cause then the stem part don't taste too well, so then we're gonna get right there and then toss the other part. Now if you wanna dice them a little bit more, then you get a bigger knife and then you can mix it up a little more. So we added one can of black beans in there. Now we're gonna add our bell pepper and some green onions, and also our different spices. Black pepper, I added a little more black pepper, and the rest of the cumin that was called for the recipe, and I added a little garlic powder just to give it a little more flavor. Have it in your skillet until the beans get a little soft. And then we're going to add our egg mix. We're going to go ahead and add that to it. Oh, doesn't that look so good? And it haven't even got ready sure that you get it all over your beans. And you don't want to let the eggs stick to the pan. Alright, so our mix is ready. Look at it, doesn't it look good? Now we're going to pour it in our plate, sit it to the side, and we're going to get the burrito ready. Look at that. You can just eat it like this, really. So we're going to just heat it up a little bit, our tortilla, our wrap, before we make our burrito. And it doesn't take too long. You just want to heat it up on each side. So just a couple of seconds. You don't got to count. And then you want to kind of lift it over. Now if you want a little more crispy, then you may want to let it stay in there a little long. So see, we're just going to get it a little on each side. You don't even really have to spray anything in the skillet, but you can do the non-stick cookie spray that we sprayed earlier. Alright, so we're gonna warm up the wrap. So let's go ahead and make it. You don't want to make too much because then the burrito will be too full. So you want to just get a little bit of the filling to put in there, maybe a little bit more. Because I know you're thinking now, Miss Ebony, that's not gonna fill me up. And I understand. So we'll put a little bit. Then we want to add some cheese on there. Because we want that to melt right. Looks good already, huh? Alright, we're going to fold up. We're going to fold one over, one this side over, the right side over. And now we're just going to roll. And then, there we go. We have our burrito. It's not perfect, but that's okay. Alright, so if you want your cheese to melt, just put it in here. Give it a little time to melt. It doesn't take too long. And then once you take it out, this is how it looks. It gives you that good closing, and the cheese has melted in the inside. Doesn't it look good? So just remember, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You need to have at least something when you wake up, even if it's not anything big. It could be something small like the breakfast burrito that we just made, or it can be something small as an apple and maybe some yogurt, oatmeal, maybe you added some fruit to it or something. You need to at least have 3 out of the 5 food groups, as you see on my apron, for breakfast to include. So even if we had oatmeal, we can add some fruit to it. I like to have milk to mine, so then, hey, I have 3 out of the 5 food groups. So while making your own burrito is healthier than buying them, is because you get to pick your own ingredients to put in here. Like we had the black beans that's giving you fiber, we had eggs that's providing protein for you, then we have our whole grain wraps that's giving you fiber too, and then it doesn't have that much sodium as we discussed last week too as well. So if you don't eat all of them, you can wrap them up and freeze them. So next week we'll be doing one more recipe before the holidays. So try this out during your holiday break with your family. Enjoy.